Good afternoon, everyone. So my name is Dallas Ray. I am the Associate Director for Intercultural Initiatives here at Miami, and I'm also a Miami alum, class of 14. I'm excited to be joined today by VaLanDria Smith-Lash, our current Miami senior. VaLanDria is the founder of Course Culture and a lover of self-care. She's a vastly ambitious, caring individual who is dedicated to forming a take care community. As head of the company, she is determined to build a product line that improves the well-being of each and every customer. Along with leading the company, VaLanDria is a full-time college student and an Evans Scholar. Live viewers can submit questions throughout the hour by using the Ask a Question button below the video. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. So, thank you for being here with us today, VaLanDria. I know you're in the middle of exam week, so we were really thankful for your time. How are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Oh, I am good. So, let's get right into it. Tell us about yourself. Why did you choose Miami?
I am from Chicago, and I found Miami through a scholarship called the Evans Scholars. So, pretty much, Miami is one of their partner universities. And when I came to visit, I felt all of the love and honor. So, I felt a lot of support from the different faculty and staff that I met. I also attended Made at Miami and the Bridge Scholar program. So I received a lot of care then, and I felt like this was my home away from home. So that's how I got to Miami.
Awesome. And so, what are you currently studying?
So right now I study speech pathology and audiology. I'll be graduating in May. Super excited. I also have a minor in dance.
Sounds very, very interesting. Are you involved with anything else on campus?
Yeah, so I'm involved in a couple things. So, as mentioned earlier, I'm an Evans Scholar. I am involved with Bridges Scholars. I am a part of Miami University's fashion and design organization, a part of their modeling committee. I am a new initiate of Lila's, and I believe that's it. Yeah, that's all I'm involved in.
Awesome. So, I remember we spoke before about the reason that you started this company being tied into your mother having a specific diagnosis. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. So when I was 14, so this is about um, 2014, my mom got diagnosed with lupus. It's a autoimmune disease that pretty much can have a lot of inflammation and irritation as it relates to the joints. A lot of people have different experience with it, but hers was very disheartening. So it took a toll really on as far as like making her skin more sensitive, as well as thinning out her hair a little bit. It was a major adjustment for her and the rest of the family, considering that my mom is the matriarch of our family. So when she's down, the rest of us kind of scrambled a little bit. So it was, I felt like I had to do my part to try to like help lift her up in how she had done for me my entire life.
That's awesome. I feel like every parent would want a daughter like that. So, all right. So the way that you decided to fight this issue was through this skin/hair care product. So how did you get to that? What led you to wanting to start your own line?
So it actually, I didn't even really mean to start a company at first. I was just trying to help my mom out. So I did a lot of going with her to doctor's appointments and doing research, just trying to figure out like, okay, what is lupus? How do we fight back? How do we manage it? How can we ease some sort of discomfort? And me being 14, I tried to figure out, what can I control? And I realized I was like, okay, well, skin and hair, that's something that I can control. My mom's also a cosmetologist. So I have a pretty good background on hair and how it works, cells and things like that. So moving forward, I kind of just was like, okay, what's one thing that I can find that is good for both hair and skin? Because we need something simple and we need something that's clean. So it didn't like interfere with any other medications that she was taking or like topical treatments, as well as making sure that it didn't cause any further irritation to like some skin issues that she might have already been experiencing. So kind of just looking at that 2-in-1 sort of product and then applying it to her every day, eventually seeing a pretty miraculous result. And we ended up sharing that product with like her peers in some of her lupus support groups or some of her other friends that may have also been experiencing some skin sensitivities. And from there, it kind of just got bigger and bigger. And I was like, okay, this is no longer something that like is just a small in-house thing. There's more people to help. And so, yeah, that's how we got from me just wanting to help to it being a company.
Sure. And so talk up a little bit about how you, because I'm sure there was a time where you were like, I'm sure there's something out there, right? I'm sure there's something out there that my mom can use. And so did you try any other products before landing on, concocting your own? Did you research different ways in which you might be able to concoct your own product? Kind of talk about that process a little bit.
Yeah, so she tried a couple of different things. I wish I could tell you the name of it. I think we tried like Aquaphor, like some of the like thicker petroleum jelly things. But the issue with those is that like, okay, well, it's a little greasy, and it's not it's not natural. So it's got a bunch of different chemicals in it. And on top of that, they weren't as they didn't have like that variety in terms of being able to be like used for multiple different things. So it was kind of like a trial and error thing. And I saw like that was like a problem that she was experiencing. It's like, okay, so now we got this box checked and this box checked, but still there's an issue finding something that like also smells good, that is clean and can be used for, more than one area, that didn't have any chemicals whatsoever, or interfere with something else. So from that, it was kind of just like going to health food stores and just, I did so much talking to like health food store owners, holistic health professionals. I spoke with her dermatologist about it too. Yes, just lots and lots of questions and note taking and me getting in the kitchen and figuring it out. There are certain oils that are really good for healing inflammation and irritation. There are certain types of butter. There's, mango, shea, cocoa that are good for different things. So kind of just finding where that healthy balance of like all these different ingredients would kind of like do the trick together.
Got it. And so when we talk about that process of learning about different oils, different chemicals, different products, obviously you found what works for this product, but was there anything else that you learned throughout that process?
Um, what else did I learn? I learned that I am no chemist for sure. So I learned about the different properties and the whole idea between like how like water soluble things and oil soluble things don't mix, and why you have to have pathogens, parabens, preservatives, and stuff like that. But there's always a way around things like that. There isn't just one way to approach a problem. So just learning and trying to figure out like where the sweet spot is between like things that are necessary so that we don't see things like bacteria adverse reactions, and like things that are necessary, also necessary, I guess you can say, by having the restorative benefits.
Awesome. And so now you have this product, right? And so you've created it, you've been using it internally, and the word of mouth has started to build. And so now you have the idea, maybe we need to start selling this. Walk me through how you arrived at that idea and how the business aspect of it started.
Yeah, so arriving to selling it, that kind of came from the demand getting so much bigger than the supply that I had. So, like I was saying earlier, just visiting those different lupus organizations and support groups and things like that. So, um, as mentioned before, my mom is a cosmetologist, so she is self-employed. So I do have a bit of a background in entrepreneurship from that aspect as well. And it kind of just was like, all right, well, this is what we're doing. We got more people to help. And this is going to be my contribution because I believe that there are other people that like deserve the same amount of love and care that I gave my mom, which is what got me to creating a business, right? So these people also deserve something that has a name behind it, something that is authentic, that they can access, easily on Amazon or on a website. Um, so kind of just putting all of those components together and making it affordable so that I can help take care and contribute to the take care culture that I cultivated with my company.
And so you work with your sister to run this business. Tell us about how she got involved.
Yeah, so Valencia is my older sister. She is the oldest out of three of us. She has always had my back with just supporting me in whatever I wanted to do. And, when mom got sick, she was all about helping me, kind of acquire those. She was all about my science experiment, pretty much. She's like, okay, like if this is what we're doing, I'm. She's like, all right, I'll cover this, and this, and you go ahead in the kitchen, you take care of it. But now she serves as Course Culture's operations manager, and she like kind of takes on most of the day-to-day tasks as it relates to the culture center back in Chicago, where we manufacture and ship out our products.
All right. So speaking of the product, tell us about it. I can see some of it back there on the shelf behind you. Um, so tell us about the product. What are you proud of? What's challenging about it?
Okay, so this is what one of our jars looks like. Trying to get rid of the glare. So this is our all natural whipped shea butter. It can be used from hair to toe. There's only about 6 ingredients. So shea butter, coconut oil, vitamin E, jojoba oil, whatever the essential oil scent is, and um, olive oil. So that's what makes this product really cool, because we only use about 6 ingredients. That means that there isn't anything that like kind of would keep it from going one way or the other in terms of use for hair and skin. Shea butter is in plenty of moisturizing and restorative products that we would see on the shelf today. It's just typically accompanied with a plethora of chemicals. um, that's what we do. And unlike our competitors, my shea butter is whipped, so it does not feel like the hard, thick. I don't know if you've ever seen the yellow shea butter and the plastic. It's really hard. It's free of nutty undertones, and it spreads really, really well, and it doesn't leave any sort of greasy residue or anything like that. It's really just nice and clean and fresh, and kind of gets you where you need to be.
I also have some here that I keep in my desk for whenever I'm a little, if I'm ashy.
Oh, I love it.
So, all right. So not only do you have your own website, right, but you're also now selling these products on Amazon, right? Which is a big deal. I don't know how often people get their products on Amazon, so we want to celebrate those. But how did that happen? How did that come about? What was the process like?
Looks like she might be frozen. One second. Let's troubleshoot and see. Oh, you're back.
Okay.
She's back. VaLanDria, do you want to try to leave and come back like you did before? That seemed to work before. Sorry, everyone. But as we wait for her to come back on, this is a great time to submit any questions you may have. And we've had a lot of great live questions come in. I'm really excited for the end to hear her answer to these. But if you have other questions, please, you can use the Ask a Question button below the video to ask any questions you might have. Can you hear us okay?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, we're back in business.
Okay, I'll re-ask that question because I know we had a technical difficulty. So talk about the fact that you're now selling your products on Amazon. How did that come about, and what was the process of getting your products onto Amazon?
Oh, so getting course culture on Amazon is probably my biggest accomplishment to date right now. I'm super proud of it. So that was a very lengthy process. So lots of verification, for identity verification, for product integrity verification, for business paperwork. It was like really I would say rewarding and humbling experience. But I'm super proud of it because that way, I'll be able to reach more people, take care of more people. And also Amazon is I think one of the biggest e-commerce platforms right now. So that was like a huge accomplishment for the company.
So what I'm hearing is if people are getting their course culture from Amazon, it is legit. It's not a knockoff.
Yes. It's legit. It's real. It's the real deal.
Okay, because listen, I bought colognes from Amazon. I'm like, this ain't real. Okay, so congratulations there. Now, you're running this business, right? It's a successful business. You're also going to school full time. So talk about the dichotomy of that.
Yeah, so it just requires a lot of time management, which thankfully I'm pretty much used to. Being a college student, we learn how to wear many hats at once, and my bigger question is that how can I make this something where I'm also contributing to working towards my degree as well as making sure that I'm advancing my company. So I'll do homework maybe from 9 to noon or 1, maybe take a break, and then I'll say, okay, I'm going to sit down and do 2 hours dedicated to course culture. And I have a list called Small Steps, Big Leaps. And what I do is every day I make a list of like 5 things that I can do for the company, just in one day. Sometimes I can do 5, sometimes I can do 10. If I'm feeling ambitious, I might do 17 or something like that. But yeah, so I will focus on those tasks for the day, and then eventually those 5 things add up, and I start to see the fruits of my labor kind of come into fruition. And yeah, and there we have it. Now the school part, um, I I'm a student first. So I definitely do make sure that I have my grades and conferences, study sessions, everything like that kind of planned out. It just takes a lot of scheduling, a lot of time management, but definitely doable.
And I also want to point out, so you mentioned that your major is speech pathology with the focus on trying to go into audiology and a minor in dance, but not entrepreneurship. And we have an entrepreneurship program. And so how have your experiences as a Miami student helped you as an entrepreneur, even if you're not a part of that program?
So even though I'm not a part of the program, a lot of the professors in Farmer have reached out to help me and kind of help push me forward in whatever I would need as it relates to entrepreneurship. So you do not have to be in Farmer to receive that support. I also receive support from a bunch of other professors too. Dr. Franklin, she's been awesome. Um, Ashley Goes, she's amazing too. Just a lot. You, DLS, you were my first first faculty customer. I'll be in Armstrong tabling, and so I receive a lot of support. And another thing too is that I would say is um, there's so many resources here. And I know that like when people get like into college, people say, oh, make connections, utilize your resources, talk to people. And I really just did that. I tried really hard to put myself out there and let people know what my goal was and my mission was. And then kind of the help just started, coming my way. And they have been, all of you, honestly, including UDLs, have been very instrumental in helping like uplift the company and help us grow. While I'm also here getting my degree. So I have a lot of help behind the scenes.
That is awesome. And if any students are listening, this is an opportunity for you to grab one of those gems that VaLanDria just dropped. Ask for help. There's so many places to get it. So many places to get it. And so let's talk about your experience, because you're a Black woman here in America and also a Black business owner. So how has your experience as a Black business owner been?
Um, so I have had a good experience. Um, there have been plenty of people that are willing to reach back to help minorities. So not only am I Black, but I'm also female. So that gives me kind of double, I would just say like the duality of being able to like apply for grants, internships, mentorships as it relates to being female, as it relates to also being Black. So that has helped a lot. I know the Black Alumni Association has also supported me a lot. I've been receiving a lot of kind messages and orders and pats on the back from them. So yeah, I've had a great experience. I will say that it is a bit challenging though, not only being Black and female, but being young. So because I am at the tender age of 22, it's a little bit harder to get through doors, right? So I might have the fact that I am female and Black also, working for me or against me, depending on what room I'm in. But I'm also young, and that can go either way as well. So it's really just a test of resilience, right? So making sure that no matter what, I keep moving forward and knocking on doors and realizing that no means not now, not ever.
That was very important. No means not now, not ever. I like that. I like that. I like that. Hope people are writing some of these things down. So you've been at this for a little bit. You know, you're a little bit of a seasoned veteran. A lot of people will start a business and won't be able to carry it out. And so, what advice would you give to other young entrepreneurs who are trying to start out in the business?
Okay, couple of things I probably already mentioned. Number one, just start. Just start. Whether you think that, oh, I don't have this, I don't have that. No one starts with everything. Just start, you'll figure it out. Number two, ask for help. Ask for help because there are plenty of people around you that are willing to support you, support what your mission is, and there are plenty of people that are ready and willing to believe in you, which this probably should have been my second thing. But take that leap of faith and kind of just believe in yourself, right? So for me, I believe so much in what I'm doing and trying to care for people that I'm able to touch the hearts of many and kind of receive that extra amount of support, you know. And it's not really about trying to convince people to believe in me. It's just, it kind of just happens, you know, when you're willing to take that risk on yourself. So it's like, okay, well, I can bet on what I'm going to do. So that makes people want to kind of reach in and reach back and sort of help uplift you to get you to where you're going. Because there's a lot of reaching back and willingness, especially from alumni, your peers that are willing and ready to help you climb that staircase. You do not have to do it alone.
I keep talking when I'm muted. Awesome. Thank you for that. So, being a senior, and you were graduating soon in May, congratulations early. What are your goals and plans after graduating from Miami?
So my main goal, which I'm super excited about after graduating for Miami, is to focus 100% on course culture. So the way I rationalize this is that like at 50%, we can get a production site, employees, we can get on Amazon, published in Ebony Magazine, etc. So what will happen if I gave it 100%, right? So that's back to what I was saying about betting on yourself. So I'm going to take that larger leap of faith and just focus 100% on my business for a year. Hopefully then I'm looking to expand into some of the other major e-commerce markets. So hopefully you'll see me in Target, Walmart, Whole Foods, on those shelves. That's the more long-term goal that I'm working towards. But yeah, and maybe eventually grad school. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But those are my upcoming plans.
Awesome. And so you mentioned that right now you're at about 50%, right? And you have been able to, you know, have some production, have some distribution. So it sparks us to ask about, talk about that process when it came to finding a reasonably priced manufacturer for your product.
What do you mean? The process of finding
Yeah, so whether or not, so when we have a product, someone has to make it, right? And so do you make all of the product or do you use a manufacturer?
No, we manufacture and distribute everything at the Culture Center in Chicago. So that cuts a lot on cost, you know, and I already have like the facility certification for, you know, ethics, things like that, labor laws. It makes it so much easier.
Now, I recall earlier in this interview, you said you were no chemist, and yet here you confirm that you are manufacturing and distributing this product. yourself?
Yeah, I do. I am not a chemist, but shea butter doesn't need chemicals, so I don't have to be a chemist. So shea butter has like this really cool alignment property, which makes it like it's oil based, right? So what makes bacteria, what makes all the bad stuff is moisture. So if we're doing oil-based products with oil additives and a oil-based fragrance, that is also natural, we don't really have to worry about anything too crazy happening in the chemical department. So with that, and then also getting it verified, through like a company that like kind of tests the product to make sure that it's safe for the public to use, things like that. It didn't really require me to do too much of a chemist. It's like, okay, let's get it all in a jar. This is what I did. This is how I did it. Let's get it verified. Make sure it's safe for everyone. Let's test it out. Do some trials, some test groups, and that's how we got where we are.
Wow, that is amazing. Thank you for sharing that. So we are done with our pre-planned questions. We are going to now go to our live questions from the chat. So if you still want to hear one of your questions asked, feel free to use the Ask a Question button at the bottom of the screen, and we will hopefully try to get to as many questions as we can. But I'm going to go ahead and start now with our first live question, and it is, what is your favorite product that you have made?
Oh, pound cake. The pound cake with shea butter. It's my favorite just because it smells so, yeah, he's got it. He's got the right idea, guys. It smells so good. That's hands down. It just smells amazing.
I will agree. Pound cake does smell fantastic. I didn't want to show outside because I've kind of I got into that one a little bit. Okay, so our next question here is, have Miami students began using your products?
Have students begun to use my products?
Yes.
Yeah. So as I was mentioning earlier, I have tabled in Armstrong, courtesy of Lila's, for I think maybe about 3 or 4 times. So I've been able to like sell to a bunch of students across a bunch of different demographics, right? So we have female, male, Black, white, Asian, and the list goes on. So I do have a very good student support group.
Awesome. Speaking of student support, our next live question asked about, you mentioned Lilas and how you're connected to that group. Can you speak a little bit about what that group is, what they do, and if there are ways that they can receive support from alumni?
Yeah, so I am a new initiate of Lila's. So I joined the organization about a week and a half ago. And Lila stands for Love You Like a Sister, and they are just all about uplifting other young women within the community and making sure that we are, in fact, loving each other, like we're sisters, and providing that extra support. I am actually not sure at this time if there are ways for alumni to contribute, but I definitely can reach out and get back to you on that.
Thank you. All right, next up, we have a question about one of your accomplishments. So what was your reaction when your story was shared onto Ebony Magazine's website?
Oh my gosh, that was so much fangirling. So what happened was my sister and I had like got in contact with this PR marketing team who were like, "Oh my gosh, we love what you do. You know, would it be okay if we sent your story, you know, just to a few of our producer friends that we thought like, you know, could benefit from it?" Like, yeah, okay, that's fine. And then they're like, "Oh, this person wants to interview you and see if they're interested in things like that." And then boom, there's an email in my inbox, and I like click the link, and it's like my face on the, under the Ebony magazine platform, and I just like fangirl. I dropped to my knees like just so elated about that accomplishment, 'cause that's really cool. Like, Ebony is one of the like most like timeless magazines, like, you know, within the Black community. They've been around for a while. I was trying so hard to get my hands like on a print copy of it, but I don't think they do any hard print copies, which is okay. But long story short, I was beyond happy. Yeah, that was definitely one of those like things that got like a larger piece of paper put into my happy jar. Whenever like Course Culture has a cool accomplishment, or we do something that is very impactful, I have this thing called a happy jar, and my sister and I will write down what the accomplishment is and kind of put it in the jar, and we review it on the next anniversary for the company. So yeah, it was pretty cool.
That's also a good idea for making sure that you can be present and celebrate the small victories and watch them build up over time by not just waiting until, you know, you hit some milestone, but anything good that happens, right? So I think that's a nice little nugget right there. All right, our next question is all about your plans for the future. And so they ask, since you're online now with your shop, do you have plans to open a physical distribution method, whether it be a brick and mortar or just increasing distribution in another way?
Yes, so I do have plans to increase distribution with another culture center. It will be the information for the new culture center will be released in January. It's going to be really big. It's going to help a community that has helped me for a very long time. Eventually, I would like to get into a brick and mortar. So I'm hoping to expand my product line into scrubs, you know, face masks, other types of self-care accessories as well. So once we see that expansion happening, I am looking forward to having a physical brick and mortar where people can come in and shop all the cool goodies.
Awesome. Can't wait to see what new products you whip up in the future, because we will be watching and trying to make sure that we get our hands on some of that new course culture. Our next question is about your mom. They asked if her condition caused hair loss, and then if so, how did course culture products either help with that or interact with that at all?
Yeah, so as mentioned earlier, so a lot of people who have lupus experience different side effects. And for her, it was hair thinning, which kind of eventually amounted to hair loss. So what Shea Butter does is that it has like all of these really good supportive vitamins, you know, A, E, D, that really work well with the like oil soluble consistency I was mentioning earlier, to kind of coat the hair shaft and give it that extra nutrients without like making it too greasy or too waxy. So sealing in that moisture to kind of help retain the nutrients and make sure that the physical hair follicle has the opportunity to grow stronger instead of weaker. So it kind of acts as a protective barrier.
Awesome. This is also related to your mom. You mentioned she's a cosmetologist, and so you kind of learned some of the business side from her. You also mentioned that one of your sisters plays a role in the company. And so the question is, does your mom play any role in the company currently? And if so, what?
Yeah, so my mom is my senior advisor, if you will. I run everything by her. I don't really know, like, so she's obviously been in entrepreneurship much longer than me. So I know how to navigate paperwork because of her. I know how to navigate customer service because of her. I know how to navigate providing a service to other people because of her. She owned about 3 hair salons at once at a time. So just kind of taking along like those little tidbits of information that she passed to me with my business.
Awesome. Really love that y'all are keeping a lot of this in-house and running this kind of like a family business. Um, and so what would you recommend, which product would you recommend to someone who is trying course culture for the first time?
Um, okay. So if you're trying course culture for the first time, I would recommend the mini sampler set. So DLS, you had one of them, what it looks like. So there's pretty much 6 of those that come all together. And that way you can experience all of the scents. So we have lavender, eucalyptus, pound cake, spearmint, orange twist, which is also a crowd favorite, and unscented. So that way you kind of get a nice little idea of what each scent feels like, what it smells like. You can decide, which product you want without having to commit to buying an entire jar.
Awesome. And let's see if we have any others here in the chat. There's a lot of things in here. So scrolling through. Um, um, I want to say that might be all for the most part. Yeah, yeah. Some of these I've combined because they're the same question twice. So I was like, we'll combine those. So there's that. Oh, can you talk about? So your business is obviously going to undertake some growth in the next, you know, year or so. How do you find your employees? How do you bring other people into the business outside of your family?
Yeah, so bringing in other employees outside of the family, that is somewhat of a traditional process. So we would have the whole application portion of it, interviewing, things like that. Um, and then eventually I'm like, okay, well, like let's go get coffee. Let's talk. Let's chat. Why do you want to join us? What do you have to offer us? It's more I like to add a bit of an informal sort of discussion with it too, because I know that if you want to go far, you go together, right? So that means that I need a team that is really strong, and I like to make sure that everyone who is part of the team also is seeing the vision that I'm working towards, and that we all share the same values. And so from there, we would go into some training, and then if it works out, then there's a hire, and then we move forward like that.
Awesome. That is, I think, the last question that we have. So if you would like to have any final comments, now is the time. And then after these final comments, we'll go ahead and wrap for the day.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you again to everyone watching. Thank you to UD Ellis. Thank you, Emily, behind the scenes. Thank you to Miami University. I really appreciate all of the support that I've gotten from you guys in your community. And I hope that I can make you all proud. And to the people watching that are looking at starting a business or just looking to advance in a goal, take the things that I've said from this interview and apply them to your lives, right? Just do it. Just ask for help. Just believe in yourself, and you will go far. So that's all I have to say. Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time today, VaLanDria. It was truly a pleasure to talk to you and learn all about your business. So thank you to all of you who submitted questions in the chat. And thank you once again, VaLanDria. Have a great rest of your day and love and honor.